bar mitzvah in West Hartford, Connecticut on March 31st, 1962. And I even remember my Torah portion.
I was bar mitzvah. I kind of grew up in a very interesting congregation that's affiliated with a very small movement called this humanistic Judaism. Actually, secular humanistic Judaism.
Well, they say the whole thing like you become a man. I think I'll change in some ways.
Something I really have always appreciated about Native American culture is the way that the culture looks at rites of passage and coming of age.
In the Jewish tradition, the coming of age ceremony is the bar or bat mitzvah. It happens at usually 13 for a boy, sometimes 13 or 12 for a girl. It's important because they take their place in the community as a young adult.
So what bar or bat mitzvah does is at a certain point in a young person's life when they're really starting to emerge as independent selves, they're really starting to come into their own. They're not yet adults, but they're on that path. We have this ceremony in the Jewish tradition that lets them step up as a maturing human being and do things that they couldn't have done when they were 8 or 9 years old.
And Kevin is very particular about the particular melodies that he wanted. So he asked me in the sweetest way, could we do this prayer in a particular way instead of this way?
I'm really looking forward to Kevin shining and showing this part of himself to both the people that know him and love him, but may not know all that he can bring.
Kevin's a real sensitive soul.
And, Kevin just looked so great up there. He's got that.
He started to understand the transliterations of what he was reading in Hebrew, and he didn't know if he agreed with everything, particularly what felt or sounded like dogma to him. We had several meetings with Rabbi Randy about Kevin's feelings.
And he came to me with his mom a few years ago, and he was struggling with, some of the parts of the tradition didn't speak to him. We're a Reformed tradition. I told him, you're not the only one, buddy. That's part of our role, is to find our place within the tradition, not lose ourselves as individuals.
We had a lot of conversations about God. What is God, and how could Kevin reframe what he felt was as the dogma?
In a book called God as a Verb. I said, well, you don't have to think of God as a noun, as a being. Here's a book that says God is a verb. It's by a rabbi named David Cooper. That God is about process. So between the stuff that we talked about, the stuff he read, and his own sort of heart, mind, and soul, he started to really get it for himself and see where he fit within the tradition. And that's what you saw. That's what we all saw today. Was not a culmination, but certainly kind of like an epiphany moment. When we take time for joy and for celebration and for holiness, that we can leave this place better equipped to face those challenges and to truly make a difference where it matters. So I invite you to sing and celebrate with us and with Kevin and his family on this Shabbat Zachor. Shabbat Zachor is when we're supposed to talk about this character in the Torah called Amalek. And Amalek attacked the Israelites from behind.
This particular service is marked by a special name, Shabbat Zachor, or the Shabbat of Remembrance. During Shabbat Zachor, we take time to think and remember everything. We focus on themes of good, evil, peace, hate, kindness, disrespect, respect, and anything important to us. Even deeds that could be thought of as inhumane. As a nation, we have been the victims of similarly inhumane events that we must remember as well. September 11th, 2001 was one of the most tragic days in the history of the United States of America.
He realized what one's inhumanity to another can truly be like, and he ran with it and said, this is wrong.
Remembering even that kind of ultimate evil or paradigmatic evil allows us not to be the worst of ourselves, but to remember to be our best selves.
And for a 13-year-old to get that and to teach that to the community is truly a blessing.
As we're talking about our young people who really are precious to us, this Bar Mitzvah is one of the things they come back to give themselves the courage to overcome and to get through obstacles.
This has been a team effort to get him to this day. And when I watched his friend last week, I was like, wow, that I had this sense of being proud of being Jewish for ushering a child through this process and marking time with ceremony in a way that's sort of like, why are we here? Like, what are we doing here if we're not here to learn and commemorate our learning and our growth?